Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you this Division I high school varsity girls hockey matchup between the visiting Framingham High School Flyers and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Brookline comes into this contest with a 1-4-1 record, or actually it's a 1-5 record because overtime losses and ties, they score it differently from the NHL. You hear they're starting to blare the music over the PA over here at Walter Brown as the Warriors are coming out onto the ice. It is Brookline against Framingham. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in today. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Anything you've got to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. It's Brookline against Framingham. You are watching Brookline Warriors hockey.
Tebow takes it back, backhand pass, gets up to Janowski, winds and fires and scores! Pace sends it to the middle to Janowski, shot, fires, juicy deflection! Izzy Pace! Now stolen away, a pass to Chin, Chin fires and scores! Shayna Blankstein-Chin! Swaychin Koo still with it, approaching, scores! Swaychin Koo ties it!
All right, we can see here at the ice the two teams warming up. The Brookline High Warriors in their white jerseys with dark blue jersey numbers and red trim over here on the left. And over on the right, the visiting Framingham High Flyers in their dark blue jerseys with white jersey numbers and silver trim. Both teams bringing three colors out here. I'm loving the look. And I'm thinking this is looking like it's going to be a very good game. We got 2.5 minutes left on the pregame clock. I'm going to try and read through the rosters as quickly as I can. We'll start with the visiting Framingham High Flyers. Going in order of jersey number, first off, we have a junior, number 2, Carolyn Cotta. A sophomore, number 3, T. Samwell. A senior, number 4, Brooke Anderson. A senior, number 5, Ryan Taylor. A sophomore, number 6, Zoe Yale. A junior, number 7, Mackenzie Coleman. A senior, number 8, Amber Welch. A sophomore, number 9, Maggie Robinson. A sophomore, number 10, Heidi Holker. A senior, number 11, Emma Angelo. A senior, number 12, Sophia Tersoni. A junior, number 13, Jasper Russo. A freshman, number 14, Emily Hudson. A senior, number 16, Molly Clark. A freshman, number 19, Caitlin Nickerson. A freshman, number 21, Lane Daida. A junior, number 22, Caroline Maud. A senior, number 23, Mason Pumala. A sophomore, number 24, Tatum Villa. A sophomore, number 27, Tam Samwell. And a senior, number 30, Michael Franklin. Head coach of the Framingham High girls hockey team is Casey Diana. So that's the roster for Framingham, and with about a minute on the clock, let's see if I can quickly read through the Brookline roster before we get this one started. Again, going in order of jersey number, first off, we have a sophomore, number 1, Aurora Charbonneau. A freshman, number 2, Emma Lurie. A sophomore, number 4, Casey McCarthy. A senior captain, number 7, Julia Janowski. A senior, number 8, Grayson Davis. A senior captain, number 9, Riley Lackey. A senior, number 11, Sophia Hauser. A senior, number 12, Sophia Schneider. A sophomore, number 13, Shayna Chin. A freshman, number 15, Clara Tebow. A senior, number 16, Maggie Coffey O'Reilly. A sophomore, number 17, Izzy Pace. A sophomore, number 18, Sui Jin Koo. A sophomore, number 21, Etta Reed. A senior, number 22, Diane Lee. A freshman, number 24, Caroline Hughes. A sophomore, number 25, Birdie Hawkins. A senior, number 27, Tina Cheng. A senior, number 35, Rosie Carew Lyons. A junior, number 37, Meredith Allen. And a senior, number 77, Jenna Rosetto. Head coach of the Brookline High girls hockey team is Nick Sama. So those are your 2 rosters today. Remember, whether you're a Brookline or a Framingham fan tuning in to this live stream, if you notice me flubbing the pronunciation of anyone's name, I encourage you to correct me in the live chat. Coach Diana from Framingham was kind enough to send me a few pronunciation guides for a few names, and I'm grateful for that. I want to get these players' names right. Also, feel free to participate in the live chat simply to say, go Brookline or go Framingham, shout out your favorite player. Let us know where you're tuning in from, because that's always fun to hear about folks tuning in from all over. And any other reason, really, as long as you're enjoying the game, feel free to let us know. So now here we go with the starting lineups. We're going to start with Framingham. First off is number 4, a senior, Brooke Anderson. Next up is number 5, another senior, Ryan Taylor. Next up is number 7, a junior, Mackenzie Coleman. Next up, a sophomore, number 9, Maggie Robinson. Next up is number 12, a senior, Sophia Tersoni. And then in goal, number 30, a senior, Michael Franklin. Next up, we have the starters for the hosting Brookline Warriors. First off, a senior defenseman and co-captain number 9, Riley Lackey. Another senior defenseman, number 77, Jenna Rosetto. Returning from an injury, a senior, number 8, Grayson Davis. Next up, a sophomore, number 18, Sui Jin Koo. Next up, another sophomore, number 13, Shayna Chin. And then lastly, between the pipes, a sophomore, number 1, Aurora Charbonneau. And so now we'll have the national anthem and then our opening puck drop. All right, that was our national anthem. And I hope you guys are excited to get this game started. I'm already excited. For you Brookline fans out there, we've already got our feel-good moment to start. Grayson Davis, who missed a few games after suffering a concussion, is now back out on the ice and part of the starting forward line for today. Definitely happy to see her back. She's a key contributor for this Brookline team and has been for the past couple of seasons now. So definitely happy to see her back. Starting forward line for Brookline consists of Davis and sophomores Shayna Chin and Swayjin Koo, while the opening defensive line features two seniors, Riley Lackey and Jenna Rosetto. For Framingham, the starting lineup consists of seniors Brooke Anderson and Ryan Taylor, junior Mackenzie Coleman, sophomore Maggie Robinson, and senior Sophia Tersoni. The two netminders for today: for Framingham, senior Michael Franklin, and for Brookline, sophomore Aurora Charbonneau. It'll be Chin against Coleman in the face-off circle. Brookline versus Framingham. It's the first period, and here we go. The face-off goes into open ice on the far end. Still ricocheting back and forth and controlled by Coleman. Coleman sends it off the boards, taken back by Lackey. Lackey's attempted push was deflected and taken away by Tersoni. Tersoni approaches shot, saved by Charbonneau, and turned away from the slot. Now a breakup and a breakaway chance for Swayjin Koo. Koo gains the blue line, trying to get around one last defender. Puts a shot, misses wide. Rebound is collected by Chin, but then broken up. Good effort defensively for Framingham's number 5, Ryan Taylor. Now pushing it through the neutral zone. It gets lifted into the Brookline end as Framingham commits to a full switch. Taken around the back by Lackey, passed up. And an attempted pass broken up, but then recovered by Shayna Chin. Given over to one of her line mates. I think that's Izzy Pace, as they were in the midst of making a change. Now Pace tries a backhander off the boards, misses her target, and it's taken away by the Flyers. But good chase down by Julia Janowski to break that up, and now the pass is intercepted. This is also returning from injury, number 15, Clara Thibault, or whatever reason she missed the last game. She wasn't on the ice for the Brookline's last game against the Newton Co-op, where they suffered a 6-4 loss here at Walter Brown. Janowski with the puck, tries a backhand pass, walled off, taken away by the Flyers. They try to clear. Number 21, Etta Reed, keeps it on the attack. But it is lost. Attempted clear, walled off by Thibault that time. Now it gets out to the neutral zone, where it's taken by number 23, Mason Pumala, pushed into the Brookline end. So Brookline's already got two players back that they were missing in their last game in Grayson Davis and Clara Thibault. They got to be happy about that. Two top-line wingers back on the roster here. Taylor trying to make an approach, weaving through, just broken up at the last minute by the defense of Diane Lee. Also got a bit crowded there with a teammate for a second. Now Brookline moving the puck up. Izzy Pace tries a pass, deflected, while Brookline's making a change. This could be dangerous. Ultimately taken by the Flyers, but good chase down by Swayjin Koo to prevent that from becoming a breakaway. Now coming around the back, getting tangled up along the boards. It's recovered ultimately by Grayson Davis. Davis takes it around the back, passes off the boards, and pushes it up to Chin. Chin skating with it, gains the blue line, tries to dump it off, but a bit too crowded. It gets tipped to Davis. Shot is saved by Franklin. Brookline stays on the attack. Pass goes back to Riley Lackey. Tries a long shot, deflected wide. Recovered out the back and sent around the boards. Up for Pumala, but just out of reach. But Pumala does push it ahead. Gets it to Coleman, but a nice poke check from Rosetto. Coleman recovers, comes in, backhander glove, saved by Charbonneau. .12:02 on the clock here in the first period. We are about 3 minutes in. And here's the face-off in the Brookline end, ultimately recovered by the Flyers. Whiffs on a blue line shot, now a pass back. Long shot knocked down. Almost a chance there for Maggie Robinson as she knocked down that long insert from Tersoni. Now Brookline skating on the counter. It's going up the ice. Tebow gets there first. Pass across to an open teammate. Oh, what a save by Franklin. That was a golden chance for Izzy Pace. Now a long shot. Oh, just barely deflected by the glove of Franklin once again. Now out of the corner, an attempted clear is recovered by Reed. Reed sends a long shot, turned away by Franklin. Moving around the boards. Pace pushing it. Coleman pushing it back. Weird ricochet towards the slot. They do get it up to Tersoni. Tersoni skating with it. Gets it across. Skating with it now is Taylor. Or is that Robinson? It's a bit hard to tell there, but now Brookline trying to work on the clear, but it's stolen back. Sent it through to the middle. It's covered up by Charbonneau. Off that last shot, I think from number 8, Amber Welch. That's a tricky thing about calling hockey sometimes is sometimes jersey numbers look similar to each other, and it's all moving so fast you don't really have time to figure it out. Long shot is walled off by the body of Shayna Chin. Sent off the boards up to Davis. Davis trying to race for it, but is outraced by Welch. Sent out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Lackey. Passed back, skips past Rosetto. And Rosetto now chasing after it. Tries to clear it up the line. And a long shot goes wide. Recovered pass to the slot, broken up. Stolen back. Sent around the boards now. And pinned to the boards, but trying to push it out was Sway-Chin Koo. Gets it all the way down to the Framingham end, and that's going to be icing. We got our first comment in the live chat. Jerry Diana watching from Oregon. Thank you for tuning in, Jerry. I hope you're enjoying the game. Face-off is won by the Flyers. Goes back to Taylor, now sent across. Long shot is saved by Charbonneau. That shot coming from number 13, Jasper Russo. And we've got our first penalty now. I think they're calling a cross-check against Brookline's number 22, Diane Lee. So the Flyers will get the first power play of the day. Here with 10:09 on the clock here in the first period. This will be a 2-minute minor. 5-on-4 action. Here we go. Face-off controlled by Brookline. Goes back to Riley Lackey. Lackey sends it around the boards. Recovered by Izzy Pace. Pace tries to push it ahead, but it's walled off. Recovered by Taylor. But now pushed out to the neutral zone by a gritty effort from Izzy Pace. And now I think we've got an offsides whistle. Neutral zone face-off coming up. And it's pushed over to an open Tersoni. Tersoni trying to weave through. Fires a shot. Saved by Charbonneau. Rebound corralled by Lackey. Sent over to Janowski, who sends it all the way up the line for a good clear. Around the boards it goes. It's chased down by, I believe, Russo. Jasper Russo skating out with it. Sends it up to Tersoni. Tersoni sends it across for Robinson. Robinson gains the blue line, turning around, dumping it off for Tersoni, broken up by the poke check from, I believe, Izzy Pace again, doing a great job on this PK shift. Pass goes across to number 19, Caitlin Nickerson. Nickerson gains the blue line, weaving through, looking around, dumps off a pass. Now a pass sent across, almost an open chance there, but just couldn't corral it cleanly. Now Nickerson sends a pass off a skate and cleared out. Fast stick by Janowski after the lucky ricochet there. Number 23, Mason Pumala almost had a good chance to fire from the point there, but just not quite there. Now Brookline bringing the forecheck as Framingham does clear it out to the neutral zone. Skating with it now as Amber Welch. Welch gets around the defense, fires a shot and scores. Sent it through the 5-hole there. And our first goal of the day comes on the power play from number 8, Amber Welch. 8:32 on the clock here in the first period. Framingham now with a 1-0 lead. Face-off is pushed back to the Framingham end where it is controlled by the Flyers, sent through to the neutral zone, taken away by Davis, but her push is taken back by Brooke Anderson. Anderson skating with it, pushes it into the Brookline end, taken by Etta Reed, lifted out to the neutral zone, but corralled by the Flyers and sent right back into the Brookline end. Around the boards it goes, it's controlled by Diane Lee. Lee holding it in the corner, trying to send it around the back for Reed. Reed sending it around, controlled by Davis, but knocked away. And chased down around the back once again by Lee. Lee whiffs on the clear attempt off the forward pressure from Carolyn Cotta. Now sends a pass up, finds Davis. Davis biding her time now, a long pass up, finds Sway-Jin Koo. Koo on the approach across the blue line, comes across, fires a shot, sails high. And it's recovered out the back by Framingham, but Koo doesn't give up on the forecheck. Pinning Anderson to the corner. Coming out with it for a second was Janowski, poked away, taken by Pace. Pace tries a pass, and it's deflected away by the stick. Recovered by Lee. Pass wasn't quite there, and it's knocked away by the Flyers. Lee chases it down in her own end, trying to fend off Tatum Villa. Takes it out the back, looking around, tries to lift a backhand pass, but it's knocked down. Does squirt out to the neutral zone, though, where it's taken by Pace. Pace trying to weave her way through, fires a shot somehow, and it's saved by Franklin. I tell you, there's a reason that Izzy Pace is Brookline's leading scorer, at home at least. I don't have road stats for this season, but Izzy Pace with 5 goals at home this season. Off the faceoff, Rosetto sends one wide. Off the ricochet, Tersoni gets there first. Tries to move it up the boards, deflected by Lackey, but then controlled by Robinson, sent off the boards. Coleman moves it into the Brookline end. Around the boards it goes, chased down by Rosetto. Pass out to Tebow. Tebow sends it up to Janowski. Janowski sends it up, just gets away from Pace. Russo clears it out to the neutral zone, where it hops and is pushed ahead by Coleman. Rosetto takes it once again, sends it around the boards for Tebow. Gets away, taken by Taylor, sent to the corner. Off the ricochet, it's taken by Pace. Pace whiffs on that pass there. Tersoni pushes it in, where it's taken by Lackey. Lackey sends it around the back. Taking it once again is Tebow, trying to push it up to the neutral zone. She does, where it's corralled by Nickerson. Sent across for Russo. Now lifted out to the Brookline end as Framingham finishes the line change. Chasing it down is Pumala in the corner, but there's a scrum for the puck. Pushed back, Nickerson moves it forward, now taking it, firing a shot, deflection. Pumala trying to push it through. Just barely walled off by the Brookline defense. And covered up. That puck almost squirted past the goalie and across the red line, but several Brookline skaters swooped in to get their sticks in there and keep that puck just out of the net. Almost a scoring chance there for number 16, Molly Clark. Face-off, ricochets off the body of the official. He's got to get out of there. And finally, it's dug out by Pumala. And Pumala recovers it, fires a shot, saved by Charbonneau. Almost a big rebound chance for Clark. As Clark gets tripped up, that's going to be a penalty. No intent there, but stick just came in low at the wrong spot, and Etta Reed will be going to the penalty box for Brookline on a 2-minute tripping penalty. This is a tough situation for Brookline. They've given up 1 power play goal already, and now with 5:30 on the clock here in the first period, they're on the PK again. Pumala passes back, long shot, saved by Charbonneau. She's got to cover it up, and she does. That long shot coming off the stick of number 14, Emily Hudson. Another Brookline end face-off. Scrummed for, Pumala recovers it, sends it back to Nickerson. Nickerson passes it down, misses the target, and off the back of the net, it's taken by Chin. Chin moves it up ice, but it's walled off. Long shot from Hudson is knocked down by Lee. Lee sending it around the boards. Hudson keeps it on the attack. Skating with it, trying to pass, no good, taken away by Davis, lifted out to the neutral zone, walled off quickly by Nickerson, but Framingham still has to reset. Pass goes up the far side, weaving through on the attack, a shot saved by Charbonneau, knocked down, taken back, a pass goes right back to Welch, I believe. Now a pass across, Hudson sends it wide. Out of the corner, it's taken by Pumala. Pumala escapes the pin and gets a pass across to Coleman. Now a shot from Nickerson, ricochets several times, and Lee clears it out of space there. Now it's pushed into the neutral zone by Brookline, corralled by Hudson. Hudson sends a pass that finds its target, that's Villa. Tatum Villa on the approach, winds and fires, saved by Charbonneau. And almost a dangerous redirect, but it is again walled off by Charbonneau. Long pass goes back, finds Anderson. Anderson pass to the corner. Now a pass back, broken up, and it's sent into the opposite corner. Long pass again, broken up by Swaychin Koo. Attempted lift out, walled off by Nickerson. Long attempted shot, kicked away by Lee. Almost a redirect for Villa. And again, the skate prevents the clear, but now the shot gets tangled up in the body of Grayson Davis, but now ultimately pushed out by Lee. Both teams making a change. 10 seconds left on the penalty. Framingham on the approach. A long shot goes wide off the stick of, I think, number 10, Heidi Holker. Now Brookline taking it on the counter. Penalty is over. Janowski gains the blue. Long shot walled off by Franklin. And now they attempt to clear it out. Robinson's attempt to clear, knocked away by Tebow. Taken back by the Flyers. Again, Robinson pushes it this time into the neutral zone. Rosetto sends it right back. Around the boards it goes. Attempted pass goes up to Robinson. Now across to Coleman. Now a pass broken up by the stick of Izzy Pace. Pushed back but taken again by Robinson. Gains the blue line. Dumps it off for Tersoni. Whiffs on the shot there. And it's taken by Pace. Pace skating with it. Gains the blue line. Gets tangled up with a defender. And it's cleared out to the neutral zone once again. 2:45 on the clock here in the first. Framingham still leads 1-0. Pace pushes it into the Framingham end. It's pushed right back by Russo. Controlled by Bertie Hawkins. Long pass misses Meredith Allen and goes behind the net where it's taken by the Flyers. Pass goes up to Pumala. Pumala looking around. It's deflected. Caroline Hughes had it for a second, but it's knocked away. Diane Lee keeps it on the attack, but it's ultimately taken away by Holker. Passed up to Pumala. That extra pass just out of reach. An attempted centering hit goes well wide. Around the back, it's taken back by the Flyers. Pass goes back to Taylor. Sends it across and has to be pushed forward by Russo. Now Lee with it in the corner. And taken out from under her feet. Nice pass to the slot, but just broken up. Too much traffic. Attempted clear, walled off by Taylor. Taylor passes down. Shot from Clark goes off the skate of Reed. Clark recovers, sends it out the back. They try and send it through to the slot. Too many white jerseys in there. And I think we've got another penalty call on Brookline. And it's going to be Etta Reed again. And it's a cross-check against Etta Reed. Or is it? No, it's against Diane Lee. Diane Lee going in for 2 minutes, which is weird because I thought I saw Lee get tripped in the corner, so I thought maybe a tripping penalty was coming against Framingham, but it's against Lee. So once again, the Flyers on the power play here late in the first. Pass is whiffed by Taylor, but she recovers it. Trying to get a pass up. They string a couple passes, but a weird ricochet ends up with Welch. Welch lifts it into the attack end, and it's pinned down by Charbonneau. There's a minute 21 on the clock here in the first period, a minute 41 on the clock on the penalty, so this will bleed over to the second period, and the first 20 seconds of the second period will be a power play for Framingham. Puck is dropped. Cotta sends it back to Hudson, across to Nickerson. Nickerson a long shot, turned away by Charbonneau. Almost a juicy rebound chance there, but instead it squirts through, taken by Koo. Koo muscles it across the blue line, loses her footing there, and it's taken away by the Flyers. This is Kata gaining the blue line, loses her footing, pass back to Nickerson, long shot, saved by Charbonneau. Couldn't get the rebound there, and Koo takes it. Koo lifts it all the way down to the Framingham end. Around the boards it goes. Taken by Nickerson, long pass, finds its target. That's Villa. Villa trying to skate through, loses track of it. It's taken away by Janowski. Julia Janowski skating with it on the shorthand across the blue line. Long shot, saved by Franklin. Janowski trying to chase it down around the back, and she gets it. Sends a pass back to Reed. Reed sends it into the corner where it's taken by Nickerson. Nickerson skating with it, long pass out of reach of Villa, and that's going to be an icing call against Framingham. 13 seconds left here in the first, 32 seconds left on the penalty. And it's rare you're going to see an icing penalty against the team on the power play. But here we go, face-off, push to the boards. Janowski sends it around the back. Tersoni takes it, tries to clear it, walled off by Pace. Pushed back to the corner where it's taken by Anderson, and that's going to end the first period. The score at the end of one, the Framingham High Flyers 1, the Brookline High Warriors 0. Only score so far today coming on the power play from senior Amber Welch. And that is where we stand here at the first intermission. And during this first intermission, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about Language Virtual. Language Virtual is a nonprofit organization made by Brookline High School students in order to help other students all over the world. Language Virtual offers free English language lessons online to students around the globe. These lessons are taught by volunteer high school students, many of them from right here in Brookline, who are recruited by Language Virtual to teach these ELL lessons through the simplest, most tried and true method of learning a language, conversation. To date, Language Virtual has recruited over 100 teachers to teach over 700 students across more than 10 different countries. And with the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, Language Virtual has seen an influx of students of Ukrainian descent, displaced by the war, and hoping these English lessons can help them adjust to their new living situations. Visit languagevirtual.org to find out how you can register either as a volunteer teacher or as a student in need of these English lessons. And you can also donate at the same website to Language Virtual to help them continue teaching students in need and fostering these worldwide connections. Once again, that's languagevirtual.org. And as always, you can find the URL to the website of our local charity spotlight down in the description section down below. And remember, if you're enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams, including all home games for Brookline High girls and boys hockey this winter. And if you got anything to say, whether it's simply go Brookline or go Framingham, a shout out to your favorite player, letting us know where you're tuning in from, or letting me know if I'm pronouncing someone's name wrong, whatever it is you want to say, I encourage you to let your voice be heard in the live chat. But for now, first intermission, Framingham 1, Brookline 0. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan from Walter Brown Arena. I'll be taking a brief break off the mic, but I will be back for the second period. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts, where we will soon begin the second period of today's Division I high school varsity girls hockey contest between the visiting Framingham High Flyers and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Zamboni just making its last rounds. Right now, Framingham leading Brookline 1-0 off of a power play goal in the first period from senior Amber Welch. And remember, if you're enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams, including all home games here at Walter Brown for both Brookline High girls and boys hockey this season. And if you got anything to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. We got a new message in the live chat during our first intermission. We got our first player shout out from Painting Academy 101. Simply says, "Go Tatum, number 24." Of course, referring to Framingham's number 24 sophomore Tatum Villa. Always happy to see folks sending support to their favorite players, regardless of which team they're on. You know, I just love seeing the good vibes from the fans watching in the live chat. You know, that's something you don't necessarily get from watching the pros or Division I college, is just seeing everyone just kind of happy that, you know, the kids are getting a chance to play and have fun. And yeah, it's fun it's better if you win and it's worse if you lose, but like, you know, it's not like the end of the world. You know, I don't know if I'm phrasing this well. This might be coming out like word soup or something. But the Zamboni is about to get off of the ice. As you can see, the Flyers waiting for the go-ahead to come out onto the ice. The Flyers did a pretty good job of winning the possession game through that first period, but also you've got to give a lot of props to the Framingham senior netminder, number 30, Michael Franklin, as she made some really big stops on a couple of big chances that the Brookline offense generated throughout that first period. So credit to her for keeping her team in the lead, just as much as we got to credit Amber Welch on that coast-to-coast run that she made to score her goal. As she started, I think, about at her own blue line when she first got the puck on that play. I know, trying to remember with all the plays that have already happened. But I believe she started about her own blue line and weaved her way through a couple of defenders to get a good look at the net and just put it between the goalie's legs. But although she has allowed one goal, you know, you got to give credit to Brookline's sophomore netminder, Aurora Charbonneau, as she's made a few nice saves here. You know, you can definitely see, you know, that you know, there's some work to do. There's some finer points to work out. But Charbonneau's an underclassman. You know, the Brookline program's going to have her for another couple years, and she can continue to work on her game, particularly in terms of covering the puck up. You know, getting her glove around it and, you know, making sure that doesn't give up too many rebound chances. You know, I think that's something that's just going to come with experience for her. You know, and we definitely saw how costly that issue can be in that game against Newton earlier this week. That turned into a high-scoring barn burner of a contest. Like I said, Newton won that game 6-4, and a couple of Newton's goals came on plays where it looked like Charbonneau had the save, but it just squirted loose and ended up in a goal for Newton. So things to work on, but still plenty of promise shown from that young netminder. And for Brookline, definitely a few really nice approaches, you know, a few nice counterattacks. You know, just got to work on keeping up that offensive pressure. As right now, I think there's a slight edge in the possession game to the Flyers. Both teams now back out on the ice, doing a brief warm-up skate. Remember, the start of this second period will be a brief power play for the Flyers, as Brookline's number 22, Diane Lee, will be starting off this period in the penalty box for another 19 seconds. Not sure if they might have called tripping on Lee or something like that. And, you know, when I first saw it, like I said, I thought that Lee was the one that had gotten tripped up instead of the one committing the penalty. But a similar thing actually occurred in that Tuesday game against Newton. There was another play where it looked like a Newton player got tripped up, but it turns out that Newton player had actually committed the tripping, and so Brookline got on the power play. So I think sometimes in hockey that just happens, where a player just loses their balance, and because they lose their balance, it causes them to trip up an opponent, and as a result, they're the ones who get penalized. So it'll be a 19-second penalty kill for Brookline, and they're coming out with 3 forwards and 1 defenseman here on this PK unit, with the forward line of Shayna Chin, Grayson Davis, and Sway-Chin Koo. Maybe one of them will be lining up as a defenseman during the PK, not sure. Etta Reed, the lone defenseman out there for Brookline. They are going to have Shayna Chin lining up on the blue line on defense, probably just preparing for a more seamless transition when the penalty clock times out. But we'll see how that works out. It's Koo against Coleman. Here we go, start of the second period, and Koo decisively wins that faceoff, and Charbonneau decides to cover up the puck. So we will have a Brookline end faceoff now with 14 seconds on the penalty clock. Koo wins the faceoff again, passes it back to Reed. Reed tries to send around, cut off by Tersoni. Tersoni's pass goes off the boards over to Taylor. Now down to the corner to Robinson. Maggie Robinson coming around the back, surveying her options, passes it out to Mackenzie Coleman, but misses her, and it's cleared out by Grayson Davis just in time for Lee to come out of the box, and that will be an icing. Always tough, because when you're in PK mode, your instinct is just clear it. Just clear it. But when there's just a few seconds left in the penalty, sometimes that's not the best move. And so we'll have another face-off in the Brookline end. And this time it's won by Framingham. Pass goes back. Long shot, deflected down. Rebound chance. Oh, Charbonneau covered it up. Great save by the Brookline netminder, as that was about as juicy a chance as you're going to get. That was almost goal number 2 for Amber Welch. Off the long shot, I believe, from Heidi Holker, that just ricocheted right into a perfect spot just inside the face-off circle. Off that face-off, Welch controls it, sends it back to Anderson. Anderson's shot is blocked, but Anderson recovers. Blocked again by Clara Thibault. Now Pumala sends a pass back. That shot is blocked. Pass up, breakaway chance off to the races. This is Clara Thibault coming in. Shot, saved by Franklin. Now out of the scrum, Anderson comes with it. Sends a pass up to Pumala. Framingham skating on the counter now. Long pass up, finds Welch, I believe. Shot turned away by Charbonneau. Recovered by Pumala. Tries to send a pass back to Holker. And it's sent back and forth, ultimately recovered by Brookline. Pass is walled off, and that's going to be an offsides. Great spreading save by Michael Franklin there, as Thibault was trying to go for one of those delayed shots where you force the goalie to commit one direction or another, and then she was trying to sneak in a backhand, but Franklin, with the patience and the flexibility to stretch out for that save and keep Framingham in the lead. Shayna Chin with the puck pinned to the boards, trying to fend off several defenders, and ultimately it's recovered by Carolyn Cotta. Cotta's pass Deflected away by Davis and recovered by Chin. Chin now gains the blue line. Chin making an approach. Turning around in the corner. Gets tripped up, and that is going to be a penalty against Framingham, and Brookline will have their first power play opportunity. Going to the box, I believe that is number 14, Emily Hudson. And that's going to be a 2-minute tripping penalty. So now Brookline with their first power play chance. Framingham has gone on the power play 3 times so far today. They are 1 for 3 on the power play, as that one goal came on the advantage, scored by Amber Welch. Face-off is kicked by Chin, back to Etta Reed. Reed winds and fires. Oh, just barely recovered by Franklin, as that was almost redirected in by Grayson Davis. Good setup by Brookline, but again, Michael Franklin standing on her head so far today. Face-off controlled by Brookline. Davis tries to hook one in, but it misses wide and is recovered by Taylor and lifted all the way down to the Brookline end. And Charbonneau's just going to cover it up, as Mackenzie Coleman was advancing on the forecheck. Face-off now in the Brookline end. Won by Framingham, but chased down for a second by Brookline. It ricochets back to Rosetto, but now pass gets up to Izzy Pace. Pace trying to gain the blue line, but couldn't fend off the defense. It's cleared out to the neutral zone. Rosetto recovers it, sends a pass, intercepted by Tersoni, poked away by Janowski, recovered by Taylor, and attempted push is recovered by Rosetto, passed across to Janowski, back to Rosetto. Rosetto sends it up, finds Tebow. Tebow gains the blue line, skating around, sends a pass forward, chased down by Janowski, tried to force it in, and it's covered up by Franklin. 1:09 left on the power play for Brookline, as Framingham makes a full shift on their PK unit. Face-off won by Brookline, passed back to Rosetto, across to Riley Lackey. Long shot, misses well wide, chased down in the corner by Tebow. Tebow backhands it back to Rosetto, who tries to send a shot, didn't have enough juice on it, and it's turned away. Now it's pinned to the boards, squirts out, couldn't be kept in the attack end. The clear is walled off and recovered by Tebow. Pass goes up to Janowski. Janowski turns around, pass back, misses Tebow out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Lackey. Brookline will have to reset. That pass slightly errant, as it's now pinned to the boards. Pace pushes it into the attack end and finishes the line change, as it's recovered by Nickerson. Nickerson trying to send it around the boards. Off the switch. It's kept on the attack end somehow by Brookline, and walled off again, this time by Etta Reed. Long shot turned away by Franklin. Now in the corner, it's cleared out all the way down to the Brookline end. 10 seconds left on the penalty, and this might end the power play shift for Brookline with no score. Pass misses Koo, recovered by Nickerson. Nickerson pushes it through the middle, and that ends the penalty. Chin skating with it as Hudson comes out of the box. Pass goes across to Lee. Lee tries to send a long pass, broken up, I believe, by Robinson. Long pass is going to deflect off Chin's stick and go out of play, and we'll have a neutral zone face-off. So still 1-0. Brookline unsuccessful on their first power play opportunity. Face-off at center ice. Squirts out and is tracked down by Bertie Hawkins, sent back to Etta Reed, who tries to pass up. Ricocheting back and forth, ultimately taken by the Flyers. Shot sails high. Now pinned to the boards. They're fighting for it. Puck squirts out. Caroline Hughes tried a backhand pass, but it's taken by Carolyn Cotta. Now forced back, taken by Hughes. Caroline Hughes trying to push it up, gets it into the attack end and into the corner, or she tries to backhand it through to the slot. Got it there, but it was broken up by Jasper Russo. Now taken by Lackey, passed across for Rosetto. Rosetto trying to push it forward. And finally, it's pushed into the attack end by Casey McCarthy. Solid shift from Brookline's third forward line there. As they now make a change, pass goes up to Carolyn Cotta. That pass deflected by Janowski, recovered by Lackey. Lackey sends it up the line into the attack end, but it's sent back to the neutral zone. Lackey sends it back into the Framingham end as it goes around the boards. Chased down by Taylor. Taylor gets around one, gets around another. Now sends a pass into open ice, a little too far for Tersoni. No icing call, and Tersoni almost stole it away from Lackey, but Lackey gets a pass up to Pace. Pace's pass stolen away by Coleman. Now a battle in the corner for it. Still fighting for it. Try and push it away, but it's recovered by Anderson. Anderson recovers. Now a shot just wide. Recovered now by Robinson, but battling against Tebow in the corner. But ultimately, Coleman comes in, sends a long pass back. Shot is saved by Charbonneau. Now again, it's pinned to the boards. Coming out with it is Robinson. Shot misses wide. Around the boards, Pace trying to clear it. Gets it out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Anderson. Anderson sends a pass up. Now it's sent into the Brookline end. Around the boards it goes. Off the start of a line change, Welch trying to apply the forecheck against Lackey. Gets it out, sends a long pass back. Shot comes in, blocked by the skates of Rosetto. Tebow skating with it. Gets through the neutral zone. 2-on-1 rush, sends a pass across. Janowski corrals it. Janowski shot, misses high and wide. Coleman recovers on the rebound, sends a pass up, but it's chased down again by Janowski. Janowski sends it down to the Framingham end. Around the boards it goes. Chasing after it, it's knocked away and is cleared. That's a long clear down to the Framingham end. Clark trying to chase after it against Lee. Clark gets there, sends a pass. Oh, couldn't corral the pass cleanly. Couldn't quite get a shot off again. I think that was Amber Welch who almost got that one. Grayson Davis now gains the blue line, ripped away from her, and it goes into the neutral zone. Now down to the Brookline end where it's taken by Lee. Lee trying to skate through, but broken up by Pumala. Recovered, long shot sails high. Davis tries to clear, but it's walled off by Nickerson. Off of the block, it's chased down by Lee. Lee trying to move it forward, but walled off, recovered by Chin. Chin weaves through one, can't weave through another, but it's recovered by Lee. Attempted clear, walled off by Villa. Villa comes in, swarmed by defenders. Puck goes around. Taken for a second, but then stolen away by Reed. Pushed back again, Reed lifts it out. Into the neutral zone it goes where it's chased down by Nickerson. Pass goes back to, I believe, Hudson. Tries to push it forward. It's pushed back by Reed. Into the attack end it goes. Hudson clears. Taken by Chin. Pass goes back. And the pass is broken up by Cotta. Now the attempted clear from Hudson. Chased down by Lackey. Pass over to Davis. Davis skating with it through the neutral zone. Weaves through a couple of players. Now just lifts it down to Franklin for the easy push aside while Brookline makes a big change. Now trying to force her way through. Pass misses Villa. Down to the Brookline end. Lackey recovers, comes around the back, tries to pass up, finds her target. Now another long pass just out of reach. It's knocked away by Russo, recovered by Lackey, but knocked loose. And Lackey's going to have to chase that down in her own end. Lackey comes around, long pass across. Allen trying to skate with it, but it's knocked away from her, taken by the Flyers. Coming in and firing is Taylor. Goes off the back of Rosetto and Coleman. Now sent around the boards. Lackey sends it. Taylor and Allen collide over it, but Allen manages to push it into the neutral zone. Pass goes across to Russo. Russo sends it off the boards, off the ricochet. It's being scrummed for, controlled by Robinson, pushed into the Brookline end. Still scrumming along the boards, out to the neutral zone it goes. Pushed back to Russo, now across to Taylor. Now up to Coleman. Coleman gains the blue line. Long shot fired, sails high. Janowski sends a backhand, or Lackey sends a backhand pass. Framingham takes it back but pushes it wide. Now off the collision, it's pinned to the boards. Comes out, taken by Janowski. Janowski sends a pass up to Caroline Hughes, who gains the blue line. Hughes sends a pass across, misses. And off the ricochet, ultimately collected by Framingham. Poked loose by Pace. Pace approaches, shot, save. Franklin again standing on her head on another breakaway chance for Brookline. Great poke check by Izzy Pace. She just couldn't quite finish. Clark trying to muscle it through. She does. Off the many ricochets. It's a pass out to Holker. Shot is saved by Charbonneau. Recovered by Clark. Saved by Charbonneau again and covered up. Folks, I hope you're enjoying this ride from wherever you're watching, because I am enjoying this. What good hockey we're seeing so far. Back and forth, up and down the ice. Great chances on both sides. Great defensive plays to keep it low scoring. This has been a fun game so far. As it gets forced out to the neutral zone, pass goes across. Now pass goes up, misses its target, knocked back into the neutral zone. Holker takes it. Pass goes up to Pumala. Pumala pinned by Chin, and it's knocked out to the back where it's taken by Reed. Reed sends it off the boards. Ricochets back, and it's taken back by Reed. Reed sends it around. Koo gets there first. Backhand pass misses Chin, taken by Villa. Villa backhand, saved by Charbonneau. Almost a big rebound chance. Almost, and that one is put in. Ricocheting all over the place, and it was Mason Pumala who finished it in the end. And again, those are the kind of plays where I was talking about, where with experience in net, Brookline's going to get better at not surrendering those types of scores. You know, their goalie's still young. She's just a sophomore. She's going to work on it. And she's going to get better at it. We know that. 2-0, the Framingham lead off the goal from Mason Pumala, as the puck now sent around the boards. Sent off the boards by Hughes. Hawkins trying to push it out, but taken back by Framingham. Shot launched wide. Recovered by Villa. Sends it through the middle, but nobody there. Hughes recovers it. Hughes skating with it. Still skating, bringing the speed across the blue line, but chased down from behind by Cotta. Nickerson trying to clear. Cotta trying to clear. Pushes it back. Recovered by Rosetto. Long shot. Sails in high. Oh, almost a juicy rebound chance. Wait, did that one go in? Or is it interference? Did they count it? Who scored that one? Oh my gosh. It was a long attempted shot from Jenna Rosetto, and then bodies just flying in the crease there. I don't even know what happened. I'm going to try and wait for the PA announcer to tell me who scored that one. As Brookline now makes it a one-goal game. Turns around, shot just barely deflected high over the net. Attempted clear gets out to the neutral zone. Pushed back and forth, taken by Russo, sent across to Taylor. Whiffs on the pass, stolen away by Tebow. Tebow coming down the right side, turns around, backhand pass is knocked away. Pinned to the boards, the clear ricochets, kept on the attack by the long stick of Etta Reed, but then recovered by Tersoni and sent down to the Brookline end. And that's going to be icing. And I can't hear the PA announcer. So I have no idea. That's one where I'm going to have to go back to the tape, figure out who scored that mystery goal there. But it is 2-1 now. And we got ourselves a 1-goal game as this one sent off the boards. Into the neutral zone it goes. Clark passes up for, I believe, Welch. Approaching shot is blocked by the efforts of Diane Lee. Trying to keep on the attack. Clark sends a backhand pass, walled off. Now sends one through, but nobody there in the slot. Lee takes it long, pass up. Almost taken by Koo, but instead walled off by the Framingham defense. Reed tries to push it, gets it through to the neutral zone. Pushed into the Brookline end where it's taken by Lee. Lee sends a pass, but it's intercepted by Framingham. Pumala weaving through and gets hooked, and that's going to be a penalty against Brookline. That's one of those where you're like, okay, good penalty, I guess. If you had to commit one, that's probably the spot where you want to commit it, because Pumala was looking poised to get goal number 2 for herself and goal number 3 for her team. Going to the penalty box for Brookline will be Diane Lee. That'll be 2 minutes for hooking. 1:21 on the clock, so the third period will also start on the power play. This pass goes around to Hudson. Long shot caught out of the air by Charbonneau. Okay, looks like the goal was credited for Brookline to Birdie Hawkins, number 25. I was wondering, because I saw her leading the line of players going down the bench, so I wasn't sure. But thank you, Jen Hawkins, for pointing that out. I believe that is Hawkins' first goal at home this season. Long shot, saved by Charbonneau. Almost a rebound chance, but it's cleared out by the Brookline defense. Now Pace sends it all the way down to the Framingham end. So credit that goal to Birdie Hawkins for Brookline, assisted by Jenna Rosetto. As this puck ricocheting back and forth, Brookline trying to bring the forecheck on the PK here, as that one is poked away from Janowski, but launched back to the Framingham end by Rosetto. Hudson sending it around the boards up to number 7. I thought I saw number 17, but there's not a number 17 on the roster, so I clearly missaw that one. Now chased down in the back by Etta Reed. Reed sends it off the boards, sent back, almost a quick shot, but it's walled off and cleared out by Reed. That one goes all the way down to the Framingham end. Hudson gets there first, sends it around for Pumala. Pumala sends a pass, deflected by the stick of Koo, and that is going to end the second period. Our score at the end of 2, the Framingham Flyers 2, the Brookline Warriors 1. Framingham scores on a goal by Mason Pumala, and then Brookline scores on a goal from Birdie Hawkins, assisted at least by Jenna Rosetto. So for Birdie Hawkins, that will be her first goal at home this season. Like I said, I only have home stats. And for Jenna Rosetto, that is her 3rd assist at home this season so far. And we got another shout out in the live chat from Kristen Ryan. Go CJ Tebow, referring, of course, to Brookline's number 15, Clara Tebow. Happy to see the good vibes continuing in the live chat. Our score at the end of 2 here at Walter Brown Arena. Framingham 2, Brookline 1. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I will take a break off the mic, but I will be back with the third and final period of regulation. Stay tuned. Hello everybody, back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you the third and final period of this Division I high school varsity girls hockey contest between the visiting Framingham High Flyers and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Framingham leading Brookline 2-1 off of goals from Amber Welch and Mason Pumala. Well, for Brookline, their lone goal so far coming from sophomore Birdie Hawkins. Hawkins having a pretty solid week so far here at Walter Brown. She got a secondary assist in that scorefest against the Newton Co-op on Tuesday. And now here she's got her first goal at home of the season. Like I said, I've only got home stats, so I can't account for any points registered on the road. But that is good. It is good to see for a young player like Birdie. You know she's going to be part of this team going forward in years to come. And what's also nice to see, you know, one thing you don't necessarily think about right away when you think about players returning to the ice is with the return of players like Grayson Davis and Clara Thibault, that means Brookline's able to really skate with three solidly established forward lines. I mean, in the Newton game, we saw them shuffling players in and out in all kinds of weird combinations. But in this game, it's been very clear and very concise. You have the line with Shayna Chin, Sway-Jin Koo, and Grayson Davis. You have the line with Julia Janowski, Izzy Pace, and Clara Thibault. And then you have the third line with Meredith Allen, Birdie Hawkins, and Caroline Hughes. And, you know, it's good that they're able to sort of, just establish those proper line connections and build on that chemistry between those line mates. Remember, as always, if you're enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams, including all home games this season for both Brookline boys and girls hockey. And if you got something to say it in the live chat. You know, we've had a few nice messages coming in our live chat, so if you got anything you want to say, you know, let me hear it. And of course, go down below to the description section to find the link to the website of our local charity spotlight, Language Virtual. Find out if you're a high school student, find out how you can register as a volunteer teacher of online English language lessons. If you're someone or you know someone who is in need of English language lessons, they can register as a student on that same website for free online lessons. Or if you just want to donate money to the cause, then that works too. We see the Brookline Warriors coming back out onto the ice. We got a question in the live chat from Lily D. Do you live stream games at the outdoor rink for Brookline JV? I have not been booked for any JV games this season. I mean, if they play on different days and if someone wants to book me for any of those games, then I'm more than willing to do it. I covered a number of JV and freshman games for Brookline boys and girls soccer during the fall. You know, it's just a matter of, am I free at that time on that day? And, you know, does someone want to book me and pay for my services? That's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. And then we got another live chat from Robert Laprelle. Go Flyers. Simple and to the point. I like it. Both teams back out on the ice. It is anybody's game at this point, just a one-goal difference. But Framingham with a very distinct advantage, not just the one-goal lead, but also they are going to have a 39-second power play to start the third period. As for the second period in a row, Diane Lee is going to be starting in the penalty box. Framingham had about a 19-second power play to start the second period, and now they've got 39 seconds to start the third period here. Framingham coming out with what appears to be an arrangement of Molly Clark, Mason Pumala, Amber Welch, Emily Hudson, and I think Nickerson, number 19, Caitlin Nickerson, excuse me, as got a brief pause in the action. And oh, looks like they're starting over. I think there might have been some confusion. I think Brookline might have accidentally sent out 5 people. But they are out there with their PK unit, and here we go. Off the face-off, Izzy Pace pushes it into the Framingham end and sends it around the boards. Nickerson going to chase it down, send it up to Pumala. Pumala sends it up to Welch. Now over to Clark, gets away from Clark. Janowski tries to clear, but a weird ricochet keeps it in the neutral zone, where Nickerson takes it, sends a pass across, broken up by Pace, but again a weird ricochet, this time recovered by Lackey, sent all the way down to the Framingham end. Taking it around the back is Hudson, lost control of it though, and it's recovered by Nickerson. Long pass misses everybody, off the boards it goes. Lackey gets there first. It's pinned to the boards, scrumming for it, and it's sent around to the back of the Brookline end. Jenna Rosetto going to take that one and lose control of it again. And this time it's knocked away but recovered by Lackey. And they sent it through to the crease, but it's covered up by Charbonneau. That was a weird sequence. Both teams' players kind of struggling to get the stick on the puck there and get it to do what they want. You can see Rosetto, moving her stick back and forth. I don't know if there was something going on with the ice after the Zamboni went around or something. Whatever it was. Out of the face-off, it's controlled by Robinson. Sent a long pass back, almost deflected, but it goes wide. Recovered by Tersoni. Passed back, misses Taylor. And it's a race for the puck. Sway-Jin Koo leading the field here as it goes around the boards. Koo recovers it. Recovered by Davis, and Grayson Davis sent one through. Nobody there. Now it's pushed out to the neutral zone by Tersoni. We are back at even strength. Lee, out of the penalty box, tried to take it around the back. It's smothered, but does push it across to Etta Reed. Reed, long attempted pass, walled off by Taylor. Taylor, backhander, controlled by Lee. Lee, pass up to Davis, who then sends it up to Chin. Chin making her approach. Poke check by Russo. Clears it out to the neutral zone. A long shot is ricocheted and scooped out of the air by Franklin, but she dumps it off to be skated with by Taylor. Poke check, knocks it loose, but it's recovered by Russo, but now poked away from her and taken by Brookline. Knocked away from Pace, recovered by Janowski. Tried to send a shot, walled off by Taylor. Attempted clear, knocked away by Janowski. Pass goes through the middle, not corralled. Attempted clear, walled off by Tebow. Tebow sends it around the back. Knocked away, weird ricochet. Sent through to the neutral zone. Chasing it down, I believe, is Tatum Villa. Tries a pass, deflected high in the air off the stick of Tebow. It goes over the net. Chased down in the corner by the Flyers. Along the boards it goes. And into open ice in the neutral zone. Pushed back into the Brookline end. Recovered out the back by Lackey. Pass misses Tebow, taken by Brooke Anderson. Anderson sends it around the corner where it's taken by Rosetto. Rosetto sends it off the boards for Pace. Pace sends it. Clark trying to apply the forecheck. Janowski trying to clear. Walled off, I think, by Holker. Now it squirts out to the neutral zone where it's taken again by Anderson. Anderson skating with it, pushes it into the Brookline end, while Framingham makes a backline change. Now this pass, almost intercepted, somehow ricochets out to the neutral zone and into the Framingham end. Chased down, I believe, by Anderson. Pass goes up to Pumala, misses her. It's controlled by Reed. Pass misses Lee. Lee skating after it. Sends it around the boards. Scrumming for it. And Chin comes out with it out the back. Off the boards it goes. It's taken by Davis. Pass up to Chin. Chin gets smothered by multiple Flyers, and the puck is taken away. Pass goes back to Pumala. Winds and fires. Saved by Charbonneau. Rebound could not be shot cleanly. Pass back to Welch. Welch with it in the corner. Sends a pass through. Pumala could not collect it. Too many white shirts in there. Gives it over to Welch. Now back. Long shot walled off by the body of Shayna Chin. Chin now wrestling in against the boards for it. Squirts out, taken by Koo. Swaychin Koo pushes it through to the neutral zone. Koo still approaching, taking it by herself while Brookline makes a line change. Koo coming around the back and finally poked checks away. They attempt the clear. And Tebow sends a backhand around the corner. Koo stays with it. Now Tebow sends it out to an open Lackey. Lackey couldn't get a shot off, and it's cleared out by Hudson. Depending on how far this thing slides, this might be icing. It's not icing. Taken by Rosetto. Backhand pass. Gets away from the target, taken by Tersoni. Tersoni tries to send one through off the stick of Charbonneau. Almost a shot. That one goes in. Maggie Robinson makes it a 2-goal lead for the Flyers. You know, it's kind of a shame. Aurora Charbonneau reached out her stick to deflect that pass, but it almost ended up backfiring because it sent the puck straight up into the air so it could bounce to the stick of Robinson where she could shoot it in. Maggie Robinson, off the assist from Sophia Tersoni, makes it a 3-1 Framingham lead. Now this shot covered up by Michael Franklin, who has had an astounding game in net today. And so now with 9:39 on the clock here in the third, face off, ricochets back and forth. Izzy Pace taking it around the back, tries to send a pass through. It deflects off several players, taken by Etta Reed. Reed trying to push it. Weird set of ricochets, goes out to the boards where Reed got first touch on it, but now it's knocked away. Out into the neutral zone where it's going to be picked up. One-on-one chance. Couldn't get around the defender. Takes it out the back of the net. That's Robinson. Robinson pass misses Tersoni, recovered by Taylor. Sends one through to the middle. Deflected wide of the net, and Lee passes it up. Finds a target. That's Pace. Pace weaving through, gains the blue line. Knocked away from Pace. And they couldn't force it through the defenders. Cotta passes up, finds Tersoni. Shot walled off by the body of Diane Lee. Reed takes it. Long push is going to go all the way down, and that is probably going to be icing. And it will be. 8:40 on the clock. PA announcer officially credits the goal to number 9, Maggie Robinson, with the assist from number 12, Sophia Tersoni. 3-1 the Framingham lead. Face-off, corralled by the Flyers. Anderson manages to push it. It ricochets several different ways. Up in the air it goes, and finally Shayna Chin with it. Trying to find a good spot, having a little trouble. Finally sends a pass across to Lackey, who has to send it around the boards. Pass ricochets. Getting there first is Grayson Davis. Pass ricochets off Chin, and it's recovered by Anderson. Koo pokes it away into the Framingham end. Koo gets there first. Backhand pass is walled off by Anderson, recovered by Chin in the corner. Pinned up against the boards, taken by Anderson, but recovered by Rosetto. Davis whiffs on the chance. Koo's shot blocked. Rosetto again pushes it forward, but walled off and corralled by Cotta as she lifts it high, and that's going to be icing. 7:37 on the clock here in the third period. Framingham leads Brookline 3-1. Got some more good vibes in the live chat. Amy Lyons with a Go Warriors, and the little Gary with the Let's Go Lady Flyers. Face-off goes back to Reed. Almost redirected by Izzy Pace there. That would have been a beautiful score if that had worked out, but just couldn't get her stick on it cleanly. Long lift out by Framingham is recovered by Reed. Pass up to Pace, tried to send it off the boards, but didn't quite get the angle right. Taken back by Framingham. This is Hudson trying to launch it forward. Dumps down in the slot, scrumming for it. They get it out, but now Nickerson keeps it on the attack, gets the pass to Pumala. Now pinned in the corner, Pumala trying to wrestle her way through. Puck gets away from her, and it's taken by Pace. Pace fights through a couple defenders, but Hudson pushes it back, and it's sent right back up by Lee. Now recovered by Hudson. Long pass, gets away from Pumala. Reed's pass off the skate of Janowski, almost a dangerous chance there, but Reed manages to get it to the corner where Lee pushes it up in the air. Weird ricochet, and now it's covered up by Charbonneau. 6:33 now on the clock in the third. Face-off is won by Framingham. Long shot saved by Charbonneau. That shot coming from Jasper Russo. Face-off deflects back to Russo. Another long shot saved by Charbonneau. She couldn't quite cover it up, and Lackey just has to push it around the boards. Off the many deflections, it squirts out, is taken by Framingham. Tried to redirect it, but just went wide. Taylor sends it through to the slot, deflects in the air, and is caught by Charbonneau. Face-off won by Brookline. Lackey controlling it, tries to send it around the boards. Koo tries to push it forward, ricochets several ways. Koo sends it over to the far side boards, taken by Davis. Davis weaves around one player, weaves around her again. Couldn't weave a third time, it's poked away, recovered by Lackey. Backhander misses its target, taken by Robinson for a second, taken back by Davis. Now recovered by Rosetto, into the neutral zone it goes. Taylor with it. Puck is poked away and pushed back into the Framingham end. Taylor recovers, skating around the back, sends a pass up to Robinson, got away from her, and Koo keeps it in the Framingham end, but it's taken again by Taylor, sent up the line, and it goes into the neutral zone where it's chased down by Lee. Lee backhands it, gets it into the neutral zone. Koo pushes it, but it's recovered by, I believe, Holker. Now that pass taken by Chin. Chin's shot walled off, goes wide as Brookline commits to a full change. Framingham moving the puck up ice. Out of that weird scrum for the puck, nobody can seem to corral it as it's still just being wrestled for, and finally Lee comes out with it. Backhand pass off the boards, recovered by Tebow. Tebow sends it off the boards, but it's walled off and cleared away. Now again, a scrum for it along the boards, and it's recovered by Reed. Reed around the back, sends it around the boards for Pace. Pace sends a pass across for Janowski. Janowski moving with it. She's got some speed, weaving her way through. Shot! Saved by Franklin! Oh, but it's still in play! It goes back to Reed. Long shot, misses wide. Now fighting for it along the boards. Framingham wins that fight. They're still trying to get it out to the neutral zone, and they do. Goes all the way back to Reed, and then it's walled off on the attempted push and sent into the Brookline end. Another good chance for Brookline, walled off by some great net-minding skills from Michael Franklin. This one sent off the boards. Pass intercepted. Brookline gains the blue line, but Davis lost it, stood up by a Framingham defender. And Davis gets up just in time to knock that one down. Rosetto's insert just misses the stick of Shayna Chin. Chin trying to fight for this puck. And it's finally pushed out to the neutral zone. Rosetto trying to stay with it, sends one off the boards out to the neutral zone. And fighting for it and winning it is Swayjin Koo. Koo coming across, fires a shot, goes high. They try and send a pass back through to the slot. Chin cannot jam it in. The first shot from Koo missed high and wide. And then as it ricocheted off the boards, Chin tried to jam it into the net, but again, could not get it past Franklin's wall. 2:58 now on the clock. And you have to wonder when Brookline will pull their goalie at this point. Pass goes back to Lee. Lee's shot walled off by Clark. Pass goes up, stolen away by Framingham and cleared out. Reed chasing it down. Around the back, sending it off the boards. Didn't quite have the angle, and it's now taken out of the scrum by Nickerson. Nickerson approaching, shot saved by Charbonneau. And it's cleared out somehow. Hudson winds and fires, and that one goes top shelf for the goal. And that one just might be the dagger. Emily Hudson, the freshman, launching it top shelf where mom hides the cookies. A 4-1 lead now for Framingham with 2 minutes and 31 seconds left. Face-off is ultimately won on the forecheck by Framingham. Pass ricochets over to Coleman, tries to send in a shot, and it's walled off and cleared out. Taylor stays with it, sends it into the corner. As Brookline trying to clear it out, they do get it out to the neutral zone. And now it's controlled by Taylor. Taylor weaving through, gains the blue line by herself. Weaving through again, backhands it through the slot, nobody there. Brookline trying to clear it, but can't do it. Taylor keeps it on the attack, but now it's recovered by Lackey. Lackey can't push it through. Now Hawkins pushing it into the neutral zone. Tersoni trying to keep it back on the attack. Lackey takes it, pass across to Rosetto. Rosetto lifts it up for Casey McCarthy. Pass across, misses one target, but Meredith Allen gets there, tries to backhand it through, nobody there, and it's taken out the back by Taylor. Taylor sends it off the boards for number 27, Tam Samwell. Trying to force her way through. And back and forth the push goes. It's taken by Reed. Pass across to Lee. Lee trying to weave her way through. Poke check by Cotta. Knocks it loose. Allen trying to push it across. Off the change, it's taken by Swayjin Koo. Koo trying to push her way through. Pushes it too far. And now it's sent around the boards. Kept barely in the attack end by Davis. But now it's cleared out. And now might be a breakaway chance, but just knocked away by Diane Lee. Now recovered by Cotta. Cotta tries a pass, walled off by Reed. Recovers, sends it through to the slot, but it's deflected away again. Koo skating with it once again. Koo gets through one defender, but poked away by Brooke Anderson. Wrestled loose, deflects back to Riley Lackey. Long shot, caught out of the air by Michael Franklin. 21.8 seconds left. And you've got to give a lot of credit to Michael Franklin. This could have been a much higher scoring game on Brookline's end, if not for some truly fantastic goaltending play. from the Framingham senior. Face-off is controlled out the back. They sent a pass. Wasn't there. Like the idea, but they weren't quite there, and that might just wrap this game up. Rosetto takes it. Comes around the back. And couldn't fend off the poke check as a pass goes through the middle. Nobody there. They collide along the boards, and that's going to be the final horn here at Walter Brown. The final score, the Framingham High Flyers 4, the Brookline High Warriors 1. Goals for Framingham, they had at least one in each period. In the first period, Amber Welch registered a power play goal to take a 1-0 lead. In the second period, it was Mason Pumala on the rebound to make it 2-0 before Brookline got their lone goal of the game, scored by Birdie Hawkins, assisted by Jenna Rosetto, to make it 2-1 going into the third period. But Framingham able to get a pair of goals, one by Maggie Robinson and one by Emily Hudson. And that sealed it for a final 4-1 score. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams, including all home games for Brookline High girls and boys hockey this winter. I believe my next hockey game is going to be this coming Wednesday, as Brookline High boys hockey will be hosting Natick here at Walter Brown for a 4 p.m. game, so be sure to stay tuned for that and for all the games to come. Subscribing to the channel can help. And then if you got anything to say, but the live stream is already over, you can say it in the comment section down below. Also go down below to the description section of this video, where you can find the link to the website of our local charity spotlight, Language Virtual. If you're a high school student who is multilingual and you want to help out students in need around the globe, you can volunteer to teach free online English language lessons to students in need all over the world at their website. If you or someone you know is a student in need of English language lessons, they can register for free for those lessons at languagevirtual.org. And if you just want to donate to their cause, make sure they have the resource they need to help set up these connections, you know, match up their volunteer teachers with the students in need around the world, then you can donate online as well. All that on the website down in the description section. And of course, you can check out the bottom right corner of your screen where you'll see the URL to my personal website, jessesports.com. You can find out more about me, the freelance sportscasting services that I provide, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team or player. Below that, my email address, jgms88@gmail.com, if you just want to contact me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And then below that, the URL to my Instagram account, instagram.com/jgms88. Follow me on Instagram, where I post highlights from previous live streams. But for this live stream, that is going to do it. Final score, Framingham 4, Brookline 1. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan from Walter Brown Arena. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.